What's up everyone, it's Malik from NetworkX, and in this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to build a network based on some data you found on the internet. So this tutorial is going to be divided into three parts. In the first one, I'm going to be showing you how to extract data from a particular website. Then we are going to build a network based on the data extracted. And finally, we are going to transform the data and to visualize the data or the network created based on some parameters. So for this tutorial, we are going to be using the Open Flights dataset, which is a database that contains information about the different world airports, the airlines, and the different routes that they take. So the objective at the end of this tutorial is to have a network that maps the different routes that planes, airline takes throughout the world. All right, we are going to be using Python 3 for that. And of course, if you have any questions, please do ask on the comment section down below. You're supposed to be kind of familiar with Python in order to kind of understand what I'm doing, of course. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more of those things. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So first, what you want to do is to go to the website, to a website called openflights.org/data.html. So this website is gonna look like that, and we contain our data set. So first, what we'll want to do is to see how the data set is, what kind of data set it is like. And if you want to import, in general, if you want to import any types of data set, the first thing to do is to look at the format of the data set. So the airports are right here. Here's some sample entry. We can already see that it's a comma separated file, and the encoding is UTF-8, and the different informations about the different fields are right here. So you have the airport ID, which I assume is the 507, the name, which is London, whatever, the city is London, the country is United Kingdom, so on and so forth. So that is how comma separated file is. So after each comma, you'll have a new variable, a new parameter right there. So next, what you want to do, we said that we needed the airports, and you needed as well the routes. So here we have the different airlines. This contains just information about the airlines. We don't really need that, since we just need the routes that those airlines are taking. So let's see if there is any routes right here. So here's a sample entry for the routes, which contain basically the airline ID, which is the two-letter IATA format. So for example, if it is Turkish Airlines, it's going to be TK. If it is US Airlines, it's going to be US, so on and so forth. And yeah, so we'll need this data set along with the airports data set in order to create, at the end, we want something like that contains the different routes, something like that. But we'll do it using a network instead. So next, let's double check if we can download it from here. All right, so not really, we can't really download the file, so it's just under a URL. And copying everything is an option, but what I'll use instead, I'll just grab that data directly from here in Python. So let's go ahead and open Python. I'm using Jupyter. You guys can use whatever you want. And I'm gonna make a quick announcement here. The code available in this video tutorial will be in the text-based version of the tutorial as well in our website, NetworkX.com. So yeah, if you guys want to copy it directly, go ahead in the website, but I would rather suggest you to write it with me, just for you to get used to it. But if you're pretty comfortable with Python, you can just like copy paste whatever you need, because some of those steps are quite general. So first but foremost, I said I want to import data directly from a URL. So what we'll do, we're going to use a URL request, and then we're going to take the data directly from it, from the response. It's going to regenerate a response, and what you can do is that we can grab the data directly from the response. So in order to do that, we'll use the library called URL lib and .request. So basically it's going to request data from a particular URL. You'll receive a response, and then you grab the data from that particular response. So let me go ahead and copy, what is it? Is this one here? Let's go ahead and copy this right here. That's our airport data. So we're going to put the response right here, the response variable, which is going to be equal to URL lib dot request dot URL open. So we need to open that particular URL right there. URL open. Yeah, forgot that. Next, we need to basically read the response of that particular request. So our airport data will be then equal to the response dot read, and there you go. So let's run this real quick. See, everything is all right. It run. So one of the things that I do enjoy doing, you know, is saving a particular that particular response into a local file, because sometimes you might not have internet, sometimes who knows. So since the file isn't that large, so you can simply save it onto in a local file. So let's call it file is equal to we're gonna open data, I think. Now first we're going to open the airport data. That's the file name for the first parameter of the open command. So let's call it airport data, or db, just to keep it short, .dat file. Then a second parameter, it's not a read, it's a wb. Yep. Close it down. Now what we'll need to do, we'll want to write into that file. So file dot write, and what do we want in it? We want to write the content of data right there. So whatever the response was in here, we're gonna write it into our file. You should technically have, let's go ahead and do that. File dot close after it's done writing. So let's go ahead and run this. So once this is done, we're supposed to have the exact same structure as this one, this particular airport.dat. So that's been done. The next thing we need to do is now to read the content of the file and to transform it into a format that might be useful to us. In this case, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be calling an array called airports and append to that array the different information that you see in here. So the array will contain each line of the so each line or each item within the array will correspond to one line. So it's going to be a big array made of arrays. So you'll have an array that contains an array containing this record, that record, the following one, until the whole data set is appended. That's kind of on a performance basis, it's kind of bad to do something like that, because if you have like a million files, it's gonna eat your RAM, so you have to figure out a way. But just for the purpose of this tutorial, I don't think that many airports, so your computer should be fine. But generally, whenever I used to do those things, put putting too many arrays in your code, especially if you have a big data set, isn't very nice to do. It's gonna eat everything, but that's just for another time. So anyways, let's go ahead and import this library, the CSV, since it's a comma separated file. So let's go call open first. We need to read the file, of course. So we're gonna call f that's gonna be equal to open. We need our airport dash db dot dat, and then remember the encoding was UTF-8. Let's make sure the encoding is as follows, just to prevent some errors. UTF-8, where is it? I didn't put the 8. Good. All right, now that the file is open, we want an array that's going to contain all our airports. So let's keep the same name as that, airport db, airport database. That's going to be an empty array. We're going to initialize this. Now for every airport, you know, airport in now we're going to read this particular file, CSV. So every line in the CSV basically dot reader /f comma. Now since it's a CSV, the delimiter here, we need to set the delimiter. CSV is comma separated file. Delimiter is going to be equal to a comma. Alrighty, set up this. Now we need an array that will contain the different information right here. Since we want to create an array made of arrays, an array made of arrays, the inside array, one array will contain each of this particular information. So let's see, there should be about, let's check, oh my god, what am I doing? Let's check the number of airports there is, how many information we have. We have about 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 15 2 4 6 8 10 12. Okay, we don't need all of these, I guess. We don't. Source type, time zone, daylight saving. Okay, I would say 13 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 13, 15 or 13. So what we'll need to do, all right, so let's initialize, since it's an array of arrays, and for each line we'll need to initialize a brand new array. So let's call it current record, yeah, which is basically the current array. Current record, we're going to initialize it, make sure it's empty. Then what we basically need to do, we'll need just to append to that. Basically we need to append to current record. So current record, maybe it wasn't a great idea to put such a long name, dot append. So the first one is going to be our airport ID, which is an integer. Row, let's see, not row, which is airport, and then we need the first line of that airport, which is 0. Then same again, current record. Okay, that's gonna take a while. Instead of doing that, let me just copy paste and then I'll just modify one after the other. We need airport 2. I forgot the brackets right here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Let me just copy that. We need 13 of these. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We need to add another record. I think there's 14. 14 records, I think. 12, 13. Now let's go ahead and see if it matches. So for those of you who don't get what I did right now, is that for every airport in our service, in our airport database, which is this one, for every single airport right here, where is it? The current row, airport 0, is going to be this ID number 1. Then I'll take the next variable, which is airport 1, which is the name of the airport, followed by I don't know what's after that. So you got the name of the airport, the city of the airport, the name of the country. So basically each of these, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, are parameters in our database. So it's going to be these. So airport 0 is going to be this, airport 1 is going to be this, airport 2 is going to be the city, then the country, then the IIT code. Then we'll have these. I think these should be float, decimal degree, usually 6. Okay, these shouldn't be in strings, because I think I'm just importing strings. I should convert these into floats. And then let me count them. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So I need to convert the latitude, longitude. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the 6th to the 9th. So let's go ahead. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is gonna be 6. This is going to be our latitude. I think it's going to be better if it is actually a number, not a string, because we might do calculations on those, so I don't know. I usually like to converting numbers into numbers, string into strings. So all right, we need to add these float till the 9th number, adding these, add the float right here, float. All right, and then finally float as well right here, float airports. So this is going to be our latitude, the longitude. I think this was the altitude, and I think this was some kind of time zone or something like that. It was a number. Okay, what's going on in here? Why isn't it green? Oh, I think because I put one that is supposed to be right. That, yep, perfect. Now when you have such things, you know, you're supposed to process a lot of things. Everything isn't gonna run perfectly because the data wasn't collected by you. There's always some errors. So one thing you might want to do, right, is to see how many errors you collected during the import, you know. So we're going to set the error count at 0, and then it's a good habit to put a try right here, you know, because if you don't put a try and there is a mistake, your code is basically going to crash. Honestly, it's gonna bring an exception and then it's not gonna run. Basically, it's just gonna stop at the error. So let's just cover this into a try except, you know, except like whenever there is an error here, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna push it here, and then the loop can continue to the next record. So I don't know why there might be an error. Maybe it's the encoding, maybe there's an empty line, maybe I don't know, the errors are come from various kind. So if there are not too many, we can simply disregard them. In our case, that's what we'll do. But if there are quite a lot, you can quickly double check why you're receiving a lot of errors. You can investigate why that happens. This is up to you, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we'll simply just avoid it. So once that is done, right, we're going to append the current record to our airport DB right there. So else airport DB, that means if there is no problem with the current line, which with this, we simply go ahead and add the current row to our airport DB variable up there. So airport DB dot append, and then we're going to append the current record. So, record, I think there's no mistake, everything is good, everything is perfect. And what you want to do next, you simply can print out whatever's happening there. So so we have, I don't know, total airports is going to be total airports, let's see, imported, add the length of the records of our airport DB, airport database. Then we can simply add the number of errors. We don't know why they might be due for various reasons. You can just put here errors. Oh, put an S here. Okay, so this should be good. Let's go ahead and run this. Perfect. So we imported a total of 6,874 airports, and then there were 310 records that were considered as error. I don't know why there was that error, but it's okay. It's not that much. We can work with the data set of 6,800, about 7,000 airports. So next, what we'll need to do, we need to do the exact same, but with our route database, and it's the exact same process. So what we'll need to do, we'll just copy this, you know. The other option as well is to write a function for it, but since we are going to do it 2 times, there's no really need to. So let's go ahead to our website, open flights, and figure out the route that the different airplanes are taking, which is right here. Let's go ahead and open it in the new tab. Take the URL right here, copy it, go to our file, replace this with the route URL, response URL lib, blah blah blah. We need to open the file, write it to our local file. Let's press enter. Write to our local file, call it route.db. Then once that is done, we need to do kind of the same as here. But the only difference is on the amount of record it has. So let's add some more steps in here. Good. Now we don't need the airport DB. We need the file that we created just above, which is called routes DB. The data. We're gonna change this. We're going, instead of airport DB, we're gonna call it routes DB. Errors are stay the same for every route in the CSV reader, the file reader. Let's go ahead and see how many records we have for the route. We have about 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, we don't need all of these for the purpose. We're gonna need just the airline, yeah, the airline ID. Maybe grab this. We'll grab as well the source airport ID, and we'll grab the destination airport ID as well. I mean, we can take the number of stops as well. Hell, we can take even the equipment. Why not? Why not? So all right, so we need about 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5. So I guess the lesson to learn is that you don't need usually all of the data within a data set. You can decide to grab a particular value when you're importing data. So first we said we need to import the 0, we need to the airline ID, we need the source airport, which is, let's see, 0, 1, we need this. Yeah, we don't need to this one, we need this. Let's grab this. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's add the number 3 right here. 1, skip the 2. We'll need as well, let's see, the destination airport ID. I think, yeah, this one, which is, we're gonna skip 4 and put 5. 5. Where is it? 5. Then let's see, we might take the stops and equipment. Let's just grab stops and equipment, which is, should be 7 and 8, I think. 7 and 8, yeah. 7, 8. So I did exactly the same as the other step, as the previous step for the airports, but just for the routes. And this should work. Total routes imported. Let's run this and see. Perfect. We imported about 74,000 routes. No mistake. Interesting. No errors, so everything good. So far so good. All right.